Meditation is a universal spiritual wisdom. We find it in all of the great wisdom traditions of humanity. I think it's a wisdom of great value for us today in the modern world as we try to make a very difficult transition into a new way of living, into a responsibility for our environment, into new ways of government, into new ways of medicine, into new ways of education. We are in a time of crisis, a time of transition, and we need to draw on this ancient and universal wisdom. I'm a Benedictine monk, and it was meditation in my own Christian tradition that brought me into the monastic life, and for me it has been my gift and privilege to be able to share this gift of meditation around the world in our own community, the World Community for Christian Meditation. It's very important, I think, for the Christian world and for the rest of the world also, that we are aware of the Christian roots of meditation in our own tradition. We have only to look at the teaching of Jesus on prayer, for example, to see that he was a teacher of contemplation. When he speaks about prayer, he doesn't speak about external forms of prayer, but he speaks about contemplation. He says we must go into the inner room of our heart. He says we must become silent, leave our many words behind. He tells us we have to let go of our worries and anxieties at the time of prayer. He tells us to be mindful, to set our minds on God's kingdom before everything else. And he tells us to be in the present moment, not to be continually worrying about the future. So when we put these elements of the teaching of Jesus together, we can see that he was indeed a teacher of the inner journey, of personal transformation. And this inner journey of meditation, this personal transformation, must be linked very closely to the transformation of our society and of our world. It says in the Book of Wisdom that the hope for the salvation of the world lies in the greatest number of wise people. It doesn't say how many wise people are needed, but certainly more than we have now. We're teaching meditation to children, we're teaching meditation to MBA students, or to business people, and to the homeless, and to those recovering from addiction. This very simple teaching of meditation is universal, and the universality of it is part of its simplicity. The early Christian monks, the monastic movement began in the 4th century, the 3rd and 4th century, followed this wisdom of Jesus and looked at practical ways and gave practical teaching on how to meditate. And it's from these teachings of John Cassian, one of the great teachers of St. Benedict, that we have drawn the way we teach meditation today around the world. So it's not a historical tradition. I'm here in this beautiful library at Broumov, and we need books, and we need scholarship, and we need a sense of the past. But tradition is more than a library. Tradition is more than what is contained in books. It's something that is transmitted. It's passed on through personal experience and through community. It's wonderful to be here in Broumov, where we've just had a retreat on Christian meditation, and it's wonderful to see that the Benedictine roots of this powerful place are being respected and rediscovered in a contemporary way through the renovation of the building here and the programs that are being offered here. So as a Benedictine monk, I'm delighted to be able to see that this ancient wisdom of St. Benedict, which is a timeless wisdom, very relevant to the challenges and the needs of our own time and crisis, that these values are being rediscovered and represented here at Broumov. And to be able to teach meditation as a way of inclusion, a way of dialogue, and a way of personal transformation is very much part of this Benedictine tradition of education, which has been part of the formation of Western Europe for more than 1,000 years. So being here at Broumov, being here to meditate and to share this gift of meditation, of Christian meditation, with people has been a great joy for me, and I wish Broumov all fruitfulness and all happiness in its continued development.